distribution. So what is apparent volume of distribution? It is basically the volume that it accommodate all the drug in the body if the concentration of the drug throughout was same as that in the plasma. As you can see in the example, or first of all, when I have shown you the formula last time, that AVD or V equals to, it is apparent volume of distribution is represented by A in small, V in capital, and D in small. So the volume of distribution is in the particular example which I have shown. Total drug in the body, it is 1000 milligram. Plasma concentration 50 milligram per liter. So the volume of distribution becomes 1000 by 50, that is 20 liter. In the last class also we were discussing that 20 liter is an astronomical figure which cannot be accommodated because our body का जो blood compartment है वहाँ पे usually 5 liter blood रहता है, 20 liter कैसे accommodate होगा? So that's why the apparent terms comes into play. Clear? I am audible, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the extent and pattern of distribution, the extent and pattern of distribution of a drug in our body, that depends on certain factors. So what are the factors that influence this particular thing? So first is lipid solubility, then pKa value of the drug. pKa value of the drug basically determines the ionization status of the drug at physiological pH. Next, extent of binding to plasma and tissue protein. Those drugs which are bound to plasma and tissue protein, for example, plasma albumin, alpha-1 acid glycoprotein, they will more or less stay in the extravascular compartment. They will stay in the vascular compartment of the body. They will not distribute to different tissues. Then blood flow. The more a tissue gets blood flow, in other words, higher the perfusion rate of the tissue, more the distribution of the drug. Next, disease states. There are certain disease states like CHF, uremia, where the volume of the entire volume becomes volume of the volume जो है हमारा body का volume of water, that becomes deranged. Also cirrhosis. Cirrhosis में क्या होता है? Albumin जो tissue protein है उसका concentration कम हो जाता है. So these factors influence the volume of distribution of a drug. And obviously plasma protein binding. I have just told that there are two categories of proteins. One is albumin, the second one is alpha-1 acid glycoprotein. You should always remember that whenever a drug becomes bound to plasma protein, then usually it remains in the vascular compartment, and this drug has lesser predisposition to get itself distributed into the tissues. Regarding the first point, if you see the lipid solubility means actually the lipid insoluble drug usually do not enter the cell, and in those cases volume of distribution basically approximates the extracellular fluid volume. For example, streptomycin or gentamicin, they have a volume of distribution of around 0.5 liter per kg, which is quite low because they are lipid insoluble drug. They do not enter the cell. They remain confined to the vascular compartment. That's why you will find that their volume of distribution is low. Just contrary to, for example, a drug like chloroquine, which has got astronomical figure like 13,000 liter because it gets distributed to certain tissues only. We will discuss in due course of time. Particularly when you will study malaria, a particular question comes that chloroquine is given in loading dose in the treatment of malaria. It comes as an explain why question. Now the question is that what is the significance as a pharmacologist or as a medical personnel? We should always try to know what is the significance of high AVD. For example, a volume of distribution is high. What does that signify? It basically signifies that the drug is concentrated in some of the tissues and actually it has accumulated in those tissues. For example, imipramine is basically an antipsychotic drug which gets concentrated in cardiac tissue. क्लोरोक्वीन का कुछ लीवर में होता है, लॉन्ग टर्म में क्लोरोक्वीन रेटिना में भी होता है जिसके लिए रेटिनल टॉक्सिसिटी होता है. Secondly, a high volume of distribution signifies distribution of a drug signifies that the drug has to be given by loading dose in order to achieve the adequate therapeutic concentration. Example, chloroquine. Why? Chloroquine किस disease में हम देते हैं? Chloroquine is given in the management of malaria. Plasmodium vivax, you all know. So malaria में क्या होता है? We want the therapeutic plasma concentration of the chloroquine, target plasma concentration of chloroquine जो है वो जल्दी अचीव करने के लिए. अब जल्दी अचीव करने के लिए हम कैसे करेंगे? क्योंकि इसका वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हाई है तो ये अदर कहीं जगह पे डिपोजिटेड हो रहा है, तो इसलिए हम इसको लोडिंग डोज में देते हैं. प्लीज टू रिमेंबर दैट it is a very commonly asked explain why question in your semester which you will face in semester or CENTAP or university exam. Explain why chloroquine and loading dose in the management of malaria. The answer is chloroquine has got a high volume of distribution, so to achieve the necessary target therapeutic concentration which is required to kill the malarial parasite, we need to give chloroquine at a loading dose so that it can be easily achievable. What is the loading dose? We will discuss when we will discuss about malaria. So another thing that high volume of distribution signifies that this particular kind of drugs, in other words, the drugs with high volume of distribution are very difficult to get removed by hemodialysis in case of poisoning. For example, if a patient has poisoning with a drug which has a high volume of distribution, you can't know, then please be careful because this particular drug will be very difficult to get rid of by hemodialysis. Hemodialysis usually dialyze the blood from the vascular compartment. If it gets sequestrated in the tissue, then it will be a very difficult proposition. Clear? This is the significance of high volume of distribution. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now comes another concept. Which again comes as a short note or an explain why question. That is redistribution. For example, review, retake. मतलब एक बार टेक हुआ है उसके बाद दोबारा ऐसे री वर्ड सिग्निफाइज दैट ना. तो व्हाट इज रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन? बेसिकली drugs which are highly lipid soluble, they gets initially distributed to organs with high blood flow. Just follow my words. Drugs which are highly lipid soluble gets initially distributed to organs with high perfusion. Which are the organs with high perfusion rate in our body? Brain, heart, kidney. Then what occurs? Once it goes there, धीरे धीरे less vascular but more bulkier tissues, for example muscle, fat, they take up the drug. The plasma concentration of the drug falls and the drug is withdrawn from the highly perfused sites. Now, if the site of action of the drug was in one of the highly perfused organ, redistribution results in termination of drug action. Greater the lipid solubility of the drug, faster is the redistribution. A classical example is thiopentone sodium. Thiopentone sodium is used in anesthesia. Anesthetic action of thiopentone sodium injected IV is terminated only in a few minutes due to redistribution.
The slide is not changing.
I have not changed the slide. That's why. Now it has changed. Hello.
Yes, sir.
It has changed, right?
Yes. Now. Yes.
I have to change that. Sometimes hearing is also very important, you know. So, as you can see, I have also mentioned here that what happens is that drugs which are highly lipid soluble, they first of all get sequestered in the highly perfused organs. Highly perfused organs are brain, heart, kidney. Then what happens? Then this particular drug is taken up by the bulkier tissues of the body. Majority is adipose tissues and muscles. So as soon as that takes up, the drug is withdrawn from the highly perfused site. The question only comes if the site of action of the drug was in one of the highly perfused organ, then redistribution results in termination of drug action. Is the concept of redistribution clear? And always remember, the classical example of redistribution is anesthetic action of thiopentone sodium. Thiopentone sodium, it gets terminated within minutes because of redistribution. Clear? ब्रेन एंड CSF पेनिट्रेशन इसमें ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं. इससे बिफोर गोइंग टू बायो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, just let me clear some let us chat about plasma protein binding. Actually, drugs has certain affinity for plasma protein. Usually the acidic drugs generally bind to plasma albumin and basic drugs to alpha-1 acid glycoprotein. The significance is that highly plasma, I have already told while I was discussing about factors influencing volume of distribution, that highly plasma protein bound drugs, they are largely restricted to the vascular compartment because protein bound drug does not cross membrane. High degree of protein binding generally makes the drug long acting. High degree of protein binding generally makes the drug long acting because bound fraction is not available for metabolism of excretion unless it is actively extracted by liver or kidney tubules. What is the significance of this thing is that one drug can bind to many sites of the plasma protein, and also more than one drug can bind to the same plasma protein. So there are chances of displacement interactions among drugs bound to the same site. So what can be the problem? For example, aspirin and sulfonylurea. Just let us, मतलब aspirin तो सभी को पता है aspirin क्या है. Sulfonylurea is an oral hypoglycemic drug. So aspirin has got much more affinity to the plasma protein than sulfonylurea. So it can displace sulfonylurea from the plasma protein binding site. What will be the problem? The concentration of sulfonylurea will increase in blood. If it increases in blood, then what can be the problem? Now please do remember, the free concentration of sulfonylurea will increase. It is the free form of the drug which is actually active. So if the free form of sulfonylurea gets increased, chances of hypoglycemia will be more. Sulfonylurea is used in diabetes mellitus to lower plasma blood glucose. Sulfonylurea is a drug which we use to lower plasma blood glucose. Now, aspirin and sulfonylurea compete for the same binding site in the plasma protein. So if aspirin displaces sulfonylurea, its concentration will get high. If its concentration gets high, free form of the drug, then chances of hypoglycemia will be more. So this is one of the significance, you can say, of plasma protein binding. Please do remember, actually such displacement reaction is actually transient, because the displaced drug, the drug which is displaced, that actually gets diffused into the tissues, as well as they gets metabolized or excreted. So unless and until there is certain concomitant pathological state, or a drug which has got a very narrow therapeutic index. What is therapeutic index? Please remind me. I will discuss in later course of this lecture. So in next lecture, actually tomorrow. So that is one of the important thing, that if a drug is displaced which has got a narrow therapeutic index, in other words, it is relatively toxic at a low above a certain concentration, then only this particular phenomenon takes a very bad shape. Am I clear? Or I can repeat once more. For example, am I clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so now let's move to biotransformation. Biotransformation, what is actually the concept of biotransformation, or why we should think? What is biotransformation? Basically, transformation of drug in the biological tissue is biotransformation. Biotransformation is basically a safety mechanism, because see, all the drugs are basically xenobiotics. In other words, they are foreign substances. So they need to be excreted from our body. Biotransformation basically encompasses the reactions which are needed to render non-polar or lipid soluble compounds polar, that is lipid insoluble, so that they are not the excreted. The primary site of this biotransformation is liver. Others are intestine, kidney, lungs, plasma, all those things. Okay. As I have told, biotransformation is required for protection of the body from toxic metabolites. What are the results of biotransformation? This is something very important. What are the results of biotransformation? जैसे ड्रग गया मेटाबोलाइज होके क्या क्या हो सकता है? एक तो इनएक्टिवेशन, जो कि सबसे कॉमन है. मोस्ट ड्रग्स एंड देयर एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट्स आर रेंडर्ड इनएक्टिव और लेस एक्टिव. कोई भी ड्रग उठा लो, जैसे कि सोचो पैरासीटामोल, प्रोप्रानोलॉल, ये एक्चुअली क्या हो जाता है, इसका इनएक्टिवेटेड हो जाता है. ठीक है. अच्छा, दूसरा क्या होता है, एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट फ्रॉम एन एक्टिव ड्रग. मेनी ड्रग्स हैव बीन फाउंड टू बी कन्वर्टेड टू अनदर एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट. ड्रग भी एक्टिव था, याद करके सुनो, ध्यान से सुनो, ड्रग भी एक्टिव था और जो मेटाबोलाइट हुआ वो भी एक्टिव है. एक्टिव ड्रग, एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट का एग्जांपल आप दे सकते हो, amitriptyline, which is used in psychosis. It is converted to active metabolite nortriptyline. Carbimazole, carbimazole, carbimazole is an anti-thyroid drug. Active metabolite is methimazole, which is again an anti-thyroid drug. मतलब methimazole itself is also used. Then spironolactone. Spironolactone is a potassium sparing diuretic. You will a separate lecture. You will learn in cardiovascular system. Spironolactone is a diuretic. Active metabolite. Spironolactone itself is active. Again, the active metabolite is canrenone. 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 That is also active. So पहला क्या बताया मैंने, पहले बताया एक्टिव ड्रग था, इनएक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट हो गया. ज्यादातर मैक्सिमम ड्रग यही होता है. उसके बाद क्या बताया, एक्टिव ड्रग, एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट. एग्जांपल क्या दिया, एमिट्रिप्टिलिन, जो कि कन्वर्टेड होता है एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट नॉर्ट्रिप्टिलिन. ये साइकियाट्री में यूज होता है, एंटीसाइकोसिस. देन कार्बिमाजोल, विच इज एन एंटी थायराइड ड्रग, एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट है मेथिमाजोल. स्पाइरोनोलैक्टोन, a potassium sparing diuretic used in different conditions. Active metabolite का नाम है कैनरिनोन. Now comes the third possibility. थर्ड पॉसिबिलिटी क्या है? पहले था एक्टिव ड्रग इनएक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट, फिर एक्टिव ड्रग एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट, थर्ड पॉसिबिलिटी इनएक्टिव ड्रग एक्टिव मेटाबोलाइट. This comes as a very important short note in your CENTAP semester as well as professional exam. The short name of the short note is prodrug. Prodrug. Clear? Prodrug क्या है? The drugs which are inactive and converted to active form in the body are prodrugs. Prodrugs actually they have been developed with the aim of achieving the significant concentration at the desired site, and also thus it minimizes the side effect. So prodrugs are drugs which are inactive when administered but are converted to active form in the body. Example, levodopa to dopamine, enalapril to enalaprilat. Achha, levodopa to dopamine. Levodopa is a drug which is almost very commonly used in the management of a neurological disorder called Parkinsonism. Enalapril, which is converted to enalaprilat, the active form, is used in the management of hypertension. I can give plenty of examples. For example, alpha methyl dopa, alpha methyl noradrenaline, then prednisone to prednisolone, talampicillin to ampicillin. There are plenty of such examples. Clear? Advantage क्या होता है prodrug का? What are the advantages of prodrug? First advantage is that the drug reaches in maximum concentration at the desired site. For example, I mentioned the first example as levodopa. Look, dopamine cannot cross blood-brain barrier, but through levodopa it crosses it, and in the brain it is converted by dopa decarboxylase to its active form. So drug reaches in maximum concentration as the desired site. Secondly, to prolong the duration of action. Thirdly, to provide site-specific drug delivery. A classical example is methenamine is converted to formaldehyde in urine as acidic pH to produce local effect. It is a drug which is administered methenamine. It is actually, I remember it because only in this CENTAP, the CENTAP which we conducted on Tuesday or Thursday, last Friday, 12th Friday. उसमें हमने क्वेश्चन डाला था मेथेनामिन इज कंबाइंड विथ हिप्यूरिक एसिड, शायद था हिप्यूरिक एसिड फॉर द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ यूटीआई. एक्चुअली उसका कारण ये था मेथेनामिन जो है वो एसिडिक पीएच में गेट्स कन्वर्टेड टू फॉर्माल्डिहाइड. तो क्या हुआ, मेथेनामिन आप जब दे रहे हो तब वो इनएक्टिव है, लेकिन जब वो एसिडिक पीएच एनकाउंटर कर रहा है तब जाके वो कन्वर्ट हो जा रहा है फॉर्माल्डिहाइड में. इन अदर वर्ड, द कंसेप्ट ऑफ प्रोड्रग हेल्प्स इन प्रोवाइडिंग साइट स्पेसिफिक ड्रग डिलीवरी. द फोर्थ एडवांटेज इज साइड इफेक्ट्स एंड टॉक्सिसिटी आर रिड्यूस्ड. Side effects and toxicity are reduced. For example, prodrugs of ampicillin, say vacampicillin or pivampicillin, are more completely absorbed, so less gastric irritation and diarrhea occurs. Then आज के डेट में ये ड्रग यूज नहीं होता पीडियाट्रिक पॉपुलेशन में. क्लोरामफेनिकल नाम का एक ड्रग यूज होता था पहले. क्लोरामफेनिकल पामिटेट हम यूज करते थे क्योंकि उस क्लोरामफेनिकल का बाकी सॉल्ट जो है उसका बिटर टेस्ट होता था, लेकिन क्लोरामफेनिकल पामिटेट वो एक्चुअली स्वीट टेस्ट होता है. सो साइड इफेक्ट्स एंड टॉक्सिसिटीज आर रिड्यूस्ड. These are the advantages of prodrug. What are the disadvantages? Most common disadvantage is the prodrug cannot be used for emergency situation as onset of action is delayed. Prodrugs cannot be used in emergency situation as it needs to get converted to its active form. So you cannot buy time in case of emergency. So you cannot administer prodrug in emergency. सो दिस कंप्लीट्स द शॉर्ट नोट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट। अगर शॉर्ट नोट प्रोडक्ट का आए तो आप लिख सकते हो ना, यस
Yes, sir.
तो डेफिनेशन लिखना, कुछ एग्जांपल देना, एडवांटेज लिखना, डिसएडवांटेज लिखना। क्लियर? नाउ वी कम टू द बायोट्रांसफॉर्मेशन रिएक्शन। Basically, the biotransformation reactions can be classified into non-synthetic or phase 1 or functionalization reaction. Why they are called so? Because the functional group, for example, hydroxyl group, carboxyl group, CHO group, it is generated or exposed. In non-synthetic or phase 1 or functionalization reaction, why it is called so? Because a functional group, be it a hydroxyl group, be it a carboxyl group, be it a CHO group, it is basically generated or exposed. So the metabolite may be active or inactive. The second one is synthetic or conjugation reaction और phase 2 reaction भी कुछ लोग बोलते हैं। मैं इसलिए सारे बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि अगर बाई चांस एग्जामिनर पूछे कि phase 2 reaction क्या होता है, आप एकदम चुप करके बैठना है, ठीक है ना? So synthetic oblique conjugation oblique phase 2 means the same thing. What where मतलब वहां पे क्या होता है, यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं, बस यहाँ पे conjugation होता है। तो मेटाबोलाइट इज यूजुअली यहाँ पे inactive होता है। Glucuronide conjugation, sulfate conjugation, we will discuss in detail. So example of phase 1 or non-synthetic reaction. Oxidation, most important drug metabolizing reaction, addition of oxygen or charged radical or removal of hydrogen or positively charged radical. This is basically comprises the oxidation. So it involves addition of oxygen or negatively charged radical or removal of hydrogen or positively charged radical. Oxidations are very important drug metabolizing reaction, and example of drugs which show oxidation are barbiturate, paracetamol. अच्छा एग्जाम्पल के लिए मतलब एग्जाम के लिए जस्ट याद करके रखो कि एग्जाम में ना कभी कभार बोल सकते हैं गिव एग्जाम्पल ऑफ, ये वाइवा का क्वेश्चन है बेसिकली, गिव एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ ड्रग व्हिच शोस ऑक्सीडेशन व्हिच अंडरगोस बायोट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बाय ऑक्सीडेशन, तो उसका एग्जांपल पैरासिटामॉल याद करके